Hello. Hopefully you can hear me fine. Today we're gonna be doing some art commissions. So I was like, man, I haven't done art in quite a bit, and well, I did do some art like last week, but it was much less than I usually do. I usually draw almost every day. Recently I've been drawing a lot with my fountain pen, and I've let me see if I can find some pieces that I've been doing. I just did this little sketch of a gremlin like just now. Can't really see that, can you? Oh well. But I've been using my fountain pen a lot. Let me see if I got some loose sketches or anything to show. Nope, I don't really have anything to show. Oh wait, I do. Um, but the last time I tried to show some stuff on stream, I knocked over everything, so I'm gonna be real careful not to do that. Um, yeah, I was like testing out my fountain pen, doing some sketches and stuff. Yeah, check that out. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, fountain pens are really fun to use. I use this is a bit of a departure from what we're gonna be doing this stream, but I was using a Fude fountain pen nib. You can see it's kind of curved. And the way that it works is that if you hold it at an angle, it's a bit of a thicker brush stroke. If you hold it upright, it's kind of thinner. You can flip it over and draw it with a very thin line, and it's really, really good. This is a Duke 209, and it is, I think it's like 15 bucks or something like that. It's really cheap. Yeah, I'd highly recommend it. I have two of these, but one of them got clogged up recently, so I had to unclog it, and it was this one. And I had to refill it with ink and stuff. Because I haven't used it in about 2 years. But anyway, I'm having a lot of fun with that. I've also been using this, which is a water brush with actual water inside. Look at that. So what I do is I draw and then I kind of smear over it with this. But that's not what we're doing today. What we're doing today is some digital art. So let me actually switch screens. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, you should be able to. So this is a warm-up drawing that I did. Today we're doing art commissions for BLACKSTAR bounties, and no, I'm not doing art for a mercenary company. I'm doing art for a zine called Red Kelly, and it's part of a larger project, which is BLACKSTAR Bounties, and it's being led by Owen O'Donnell, who did Killing in the Name, which is a Mothership RPG, and we're going to have some stuff by Eric as well, if you guys know Eric. He's gonna be doing a bunch of the layout stuff, which is very cool. So we decided on a style for the zine. We wanted it to be kind of like a dark web kind of thing, right? We thought that would be cool. And a CRT filter I thought would be neat to use. So what I decided on was using an old technique that I used to use quite a bit, which is to do basically pixel art in Photoshop, but I use my regular brushes, but then I use a filter over top that can posterize the colors. So if I remove this, this is the actual painting underneath. So this was what I was working on for the last like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Yeah, so if you look at this, this is, like if I draw this for example, right? Like that. If I turn that on, you can see how that changes up, how it looks. This screen reminds me of the MGS title screen. Yeah, it's supposed to be like that kind of vibe. So we're aiming for that kind of vibe. So there might be a bit of photo bashing here and there. I'm thinking I'm probably going to go for about 80% painting, 20% photo bashing. I wanted to have a painterly texture still, while still having a CRT filter to it, while still maintaining some realism. So today we'll be doing some thumbnail sketches. We'll be doing some thumbnail sketches for that. Yo, hello Jack, welcome to the stream. But yeah, this is actually really easy to use. So for more details on how to use this, look up HD index painting. If you Google that, you'll find the result. But it's basically a bunch of filters over top So I'll just show what I have. I have a levels adjustment, that's something I added myself. I have a dithering, which is an overlay layer with a bunch of lines going downwards. That's simple enough. A black and white filter to make it black and white if it wasn't already. And here's where the magic happens. I have a color ramp that is a gradient map, pretty much, that turns it from... So a gradient map basically takes the colors from a grayscale to another kind of color. So like if you have black mapping to blue, for example, in here, and lighter colors mapping to red, you'll get something like this. So I don't know if I can show it. Here we go. So that's the gradient map that I'm using right now. So at the far left, that's complete black. At the far right, that's complete white. In the middle range, in this grayscale range, that's where all the colors kind of like change. So it turns from this into this. And finally here is where the final step comes in, which I think is the most important, which is the indexes part, which basically constrains the amount of colors that can be shown in the image. So I have it to 2, which is the minimum, I think. And basically it constrains the colors. So if you see here, there's a lot of different kinds of colors in each pixel, right? This constrains the whole palette. This reminds me of GB color in a way, or how screen printing reduced colors screenshots work. It works largely the same way in terms of a few factors. The posterization limits the palette count, which basically limits it to about the same as what you're talking about. And it's also the same method that I use when I need to have limited amounts of colors. Then I just replace the color afterwards. So what I might do for a shirt or something is that I will posterize the colors, get a limited amount, and then adjust the colors so that it's exactly what I want. But I start with overall like loose painting, because I find that just painting with, you know, like very stark colors can be a bit hard. If I was doing this manually, which I can do and I've done before, it can take a bit more time. Alternatively, I could just do this and then pass it through this. And I still have full control over like how much I want to posterize it and how much color I want in which area. And even like the levels adjustment, I can change it quite a bit. So if I wanted to, for example, I could make it a lot brighter, a lot darker. And here's the other part that's really cool as well about this. I can actually change the scale of the art here, right? And notice that it does not change the pixel art. Like, the lines are still in the same place that they will otherwise be. I'm not sure if you can see that, but let me try to zoom in a bit. You can see how it's shifting with the lines. So the resolution stays the same no matter how much you scale it up or down. So that's really useful for making actual pixel art. I don't normally use this method for making pixel art. I usually do it manually. However, for several video games that I've worked on, if you don't know, I used to work on video games. I used to make a bunch of pixel art games. For the background assets, I will use this method, actually. So this is HD index painting. It was popularized by Daniel Fessler, I believe. And yeah, we'll just jump right into it. So the whole premise of Red Kelly is that it's basically set in, if you're not familiar with Mothership, think like Alien, like retro-futuristic stuff. Red Kelly is a cowgirl mercenary who thinks they're an actual cowgirl and who is batshit insane. And I have to draw what is, let me see the commission's detail again. My first task of the day is to draw cowgirlsurprise.mov. And no, this is not something that will get me demonetized. Cowgirlsurprise.mov is a file of her torturing somebody. Actually, that will probably get me demonetized now that I think about it. These videos aren't monetized anyway, but you get what I'm saying. There's not going to be any nudity or anything. But yeah, that's my first task. So I have to draw a bunch of frames of the torture scene, and I'm gonna be putting them side by side. Let's see. What games have you worked on? I have made. I worked as a solo game developer for a number of years. I made a game called Skull Chains, which you can find on Steam. And I made a game called Hayai, which you can also find on Steam. The trailers are in my channel. Hayai was made in actually 2 weeks. And I believe at one point it was... There was a website that tracked the Steam rankings, and stuff, and it was the 15th top rated hidden gem in the whole Steam library of games. So that's pretty cool, I think. This seems similar to what I was thinking of doing to make my own Enter the Dungeon art. I can send this file over to you, Catherine. I can send it over to you if it will help you. I can even like adjust it so that you can get the reds and the darks the way you want it. So I can send that to you. You'll need to open it in... Actually, PSD files, most things can open it, but I can send it to you. Let's see. Did you see that Twitch allowed nudity in art for like 2 days before revoking it? I didn't, but that's pretty funny. Yeah, so basically we're going to be making the Cowgirl Surprise.mov thumbnail art, which involves thumbs, actually. Involves somebody's thumb getting cut off. So I need to look at the details of this in the document that we have. I'm not going to show it to you because I can't do that. But let's see. Cowgirl Surprise.mov. Shaky camcorder footage of a hand being held down on a felt table. Let's see. Heavy breathing built into a scream. Woman dressed as a cowboy with bright orange braids feverishly saws through the hand's ring finger with a dull Bowie knife. A milky white liquid is poured over the newly created stump, with all flesh coming into contact with it, cauterizing, sizzling, and popping. So this is a bit of a challenge. When I saw this at first and I knew I had to make art of it, I was like, how do I encapsulate all that into one image? And my answer to that is I don't do that. I encapsulate it into 3 images. So the first thing that we will need, I think, is Red Kelly holding a Bowie knife of some sort. And we're just doing thumbnails today, so these will be really rough, but they should give like the overall gist of like what the thing is gonna look like. So again, I might probably be using like some kind of like photo bashing to speed things up, like for background and stuff, but I want it to be mostly painting. I think at first I was thinking of going mostly photo bashing, but after a few attempts at it, I was like, nah, I want full control. I want like full control over the whole thing. And I mean, you can get that with photo bashing, but it's a lot easier if you just start with a painting. So we'll just be basically blocking it out for today. Today we might be actually doing some finalized pieces, but I think for now we'll just be blocking it out. Also, let's put on some music. Let's put on some music. So we're going to be listening to a HDK release, which is Kowloon Neon City, Episode 2 by Ryosuke Mochida. So I'm going to open it up, and I'll put the currently playing thing up as well so you can see what song we're listening to. And we'll just have a chill time. This kind of fits this kind of fits the drawing that we're currently doing. Whoa. Okay, that's a bit too aggressive. But yeah, I think I need to lower the volume on my side a little bit. But I'm just basically doing a few thumbnail sketches for now. I'm just trying to figure out like what the look I want for some of the stuff. And I know it's gonna be like a horizontal layout because it's an MOV file, and it's like, unless we are going with a vertical MOV file or something strange like that, I think it's gonna be horizontal. So I'm trying to... Actually, what we should do, here's what we'll do. We'll create a new layer, and then we'll rectangle out a certain region here. Say like this region. No, that's too much. Let's say like, yeah, there you go. That's good. This is basically a page of a comic, right? Yeah, it's gonna be basically a yeah, you can think of it like that. It's basically a page of a comic. Because like it's gonna be a few frames of video, and we're gonna be putting a video frame around it in the final like layout of the piece. So I'm trying to approach it like kind of like a comic with 3 frames. So I'm limited to 3 frames. And I'm just, you can tell I'm drawing it very badly. And that's not on purpose, but that's it. For a thumbnail, I want to do them quick. So I'm just trying to get through as many as possible. So this is the first one, that's done. I'm just gonna do about maybe, I don't know how many of these, until I find one that I think would work. So I'm just gonna say that this is the first one. I kind of like the direction, but I want one where Red Kelly is facing the camera. So let's try something else here. Let's just keep going. Let's see, this is not chill. Yeah, this is not chill. But that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Okay. Oh, I like the direction that this one is going in. Like, say, something like that. Something where we can show off their braids a bit. So, recently I've been reading The Black Company, actually. I think I mentioned that in an earlier thing, but I realized something, and this is unrelated to anything we're doing right now, but I realized that having music while reading an audiobook elevates the experience for me a lot. And I found like a soundboard application for my iPad that I got for RPG stuff initially that actually works really well for playing stuff in the background. So I listen to that while I'm listening to my Audible stuff, which is pretty cool. I can actually like put background music on when I'm like listening to my audiobooks. And a lot of HDK's music kind of fits into that vibe, I think. Oh, this is kind of cool. This one is kind of cool actually. Like we can have the Bowie knife kind of like that. Like they can be extending it out. Okay, that's a bit too light, but we can do it like that, right? I kind of like this one. We'll keep going. We'll try to find some that like might work better, but I kind of like this one a lot. How did the IRL D&D session go? Ah man, one of the players caught COVID. I was supposed to actually run it yesterday. One of the players caught COVID, so you know, can't be helped. But that's kind of, I mean, that kind of stuff can't be helped. I really hope they get better soon. It's just I've been a bit overwhelmed lately with a lot of different things, and I was hoping that it can be kind of a nice, you know, nice little time with my friends and stuff like that. But you know, when that kind of stuff happens, you can't plan for that, you know. So yeah, it's fine. I think like I don't know why I put a hole there. It's kind of cool if there's some ridges though, so that's, yeah, that's good. I think we have to show them smiling. I think we have to show them smiling. I mean, this is just a thumbnail, like I said. I don't want to get too crazy with it, but I think showing them smiling is kind of a must. Like, they look batshit insane. That kind of looks pretty cool, I think, yeah. I dig high dimensionality. Yeah, I think like this kind of perspective is kind of pretty cool. Let's see the previous one. Yeah, this one wasn't really, I mean, it works. But this is definitely something I prefer a lot more. Let's do like a few more, and then we'll skip to the next frame, which is Actually, this is the second frame, I think. The first frame is like an overview of the bar. The second frame is them pulling their Bowie knife out. And the third frame is them cutting into the finger. Which is gonna be a bit hard to do. That last frame is gonna be a challenge, I'd say. Because I don't know how I'm gonna do it in a way that's like compositionally cool. Okay, let me try one more composition style for the second frame, which is I'm gonna put a machete kind of like dividing up the frame a bit. And have them like kind of like holding it like that, right? And then their face is like behind the machete. And they're kind of like, I'm not sure if this will work, but let me try it. Actually, I should draw the face first. That'll probably be easier. Yeah, let me redo this. So let me draw the face first. I think it gives a good kind of like view of Red Kelly. So we'll try to go for kind of like that. And that looks pretty. That's what I want. So I want them to kind of like be looking downwards, something like that. And of course, like I said, these are just thumbnails, so I'll probably be redrawing all of them when it actually comes to time to actually pin them. I'll probably be redrawing the whole thing. But this gives a good idea. Oh, I think I got an idea actually. I think like having them have the knife so that it just intersects their. Let me see if I can get this correct. Like it just intersects their face like that. Can be kind of interesting. I think having the knife be that's a bit too bright, but having it be kind of like the light source can be interesting. So yeah, that's way too bright, but let's try something like this. Where like yeah, I think like we could do this. Have the light kind of reflect. Oh, I know. We could reflect the. I'm not sure if this will come across, but we could reflect the person looking into the Bowie knife. I'm not sure if this will work though, so let's just try it. I'm gonna have to flip this afterwards to make sure that this kind of makes sense, but. Oh, that kind of does, actually. I like that. Okay, I kind of like that. Let's try fleshing out the face a little bit more. Okay. Let's do... I actually like this better than the previous one. I could maybe combine both. Yeah, I could like combine the dimensionality of the previous one, I think, with the idea of this one, so... Actually no, this one looks more like, more creepy. I kinda like it. I have to decide on that later on, but I think that's a good array of choices that we have for the second frame. The second frame is actually the easiest one, I think. The first and third frames are probably the hardest ones, because I have to kind of give an overview of the whole thing. And for the first one is hard because I have to do an overview of the whole bar, and the third one is hard because I have to zoom in a lot. So they're hard for opposite reasons. Music has real PC98 vibes. I like all of them and feel like they could get used. Yeah. Yes to both. I really like PC98 style. If you've seen any of the PC98 style games, I really like how they look. There was a game called Valhalla, which was a bartending simulation, which wasn't exactly PC98, but they are making a game that is very much inspired by PC98 style graphics. I can't remember the name of it right now, but if you search it up, you'll find it. They're making. It's in progress right now. I think they're like developing it. I have actually talked to the developer before a while back. Okay. A while ago though. There could be a cool arcade machine. It's definitely that rough wheelhouse. Oh, wait, what could be a cool arcade machine? I think this is actually a pretty okay kind of. Yeah, let's get rid of that. I think this is an okay start for the thumbnail. We probably need some stuff in the background as well. Actually, this is my favorite one, I think. So we'll just maybe put. Actually, no. We'll figure out the perspective of this. So we're kind of looking up at them, right? So, yeah, let's do it like this. Just kind of draw the ceiling here a bit, and do something like that. And I kind of like that, like the top is kind of more melded in to the head and stuff. With this kind of like color palette and stuff, we do have a bunch of restrictions, which is why I decided to not do as much photo bashing as I was initially planning on doing, because the restrictions that we're gonna have are gonna make my job a lot harder if I don't have full control over everything. So I think that looks kind of okay though. Just hinting at some background details like that. Let's see. I'm wanting to make some bizarre Pixar arcade machines from games that aren't actual historical arcade games. I thought I talked with you about that. My friend is a carpenter, so it depends on his schedule. I don't actually recall you telling me about that. I know you wanted to reach out to Deceiver about some using some of his art for like a one-page dungeon, but you didn't tell me about like the arcade machine thing. I don't think so. Either that or I forgot. It's perfectly possible that I forgot. Let me see. I think, okay, if we're looking up at them, right, their head has to kind of like conceal some stuff there. So we kind of have to do like that, right? The arcade project was something that came out months ago. Oh, okay, I see. Gotcha. Okay, I like this. So from here, right, I can then do some photo bashing. I can like put in some stuff just to make the process go quicker. But we have the general like kind of outline for how this is gonna look. But if we want to make it more realistic looking, or we want to adjust certain parts, it's going to be quite easy to do so. And that's kind of why, even for like photo bash stuff, I like to make a little sketch first. Unless I know that it's going to have a lot of complex elements. Yeah, I guess it depends on the project itself. Like for You Started This, which is another project that has a lot of photo bashing, I didn't use any sketches to start with, because I wanted to sketch with the photos that were going to be used, because that was primarily just photo bashing. You really love this as is? Nice. Yeah, I kind of like the style. It will need a little bit more polishing up, but I think that can all be done later. For now, I think this is a good to go as a thumbnail. So I'm gonna save. Actually, I should save this out. Give me a sec. Let me save this out as thumbnails. There we go. Okay, so this is gonna be the second frame. I'm actually gonna talk to Owen about this. Owen, if you're watching, if you can weigh in, that'll be good. I'm not sure if you want to just use this for the or the MOV, because I think this might be able to encapsulate the whole thing. Because at first I was like, I have to show the victim and the Bowie knife and Red Kelly, but I've kind of done it with this. So it might be better to do this and then just have the frame around it. But we'll talk about that. Okay. I think if that's the case, right, if that might be the case, I should move on to the other stuff as the thumbnails first. Just in case, like... Yeah, I think I'll move on to the other stuff as thumbnails first. But I think these three are a good starting off point and we can mix and match. Let's see here. Okay, this one, there's one where I'm like, I probably have to start with a photo. And that's Red Kelly with their mercenaries. The reason why I have to probably start with a photo here is there's gonna be a lot of people. Actually, no, I won't start with a photo. I want to just get a general gist for where they are first. I'm actually going to try this instead. So I kind of have a little bit of a ground there. Actually, maybe I'll reverse it. Maybe like, yeah, maybe I'll reverse it. Maybe like, yeah, like a sunset kind of like scenario, right? I think that's cool. And for this one, I think we don't need the horizontal layout. So I'm actually going to remove the clipping on that. Okay, there we go. Okay. So where do I want this to be? Are they all up against a wall? Or are they in the sun? Something I'm trying to think about. So a good way of just adding in random texture is I have a bunch of photos here, public domain photos or photos that my friend took that I got permission to use, but I've converted them into texture brushes, so I can just paint over it like so. And I have that, right? And that looks like garbage. So what I normally do is I create a new layer, set it to overlay. Sorry, not soft light, overlay. And then I brush it in. You can see that already adds a bit of texture to it. So to give a bit more detail into the process, this is what actually looks underneath. So I'm actually painting it on like that, right? Then when I set this overlay, it looks like that. So you can use this to just get a bunch of texture really quick. A good way to use this is if you already have like some stuff that is already, you know, darker or whatever, you can just use it to directly paint over top. So like, let's say I have a figure standing in the midst of all this, and this will work with a higher resolution canvas. These brushes were made for A4 300 dpi in mind, not this resolution that I have. But you can paint it like this if you kind of have a higher resolution canvas. I don't. I'm just gonna use my regular brush. So let's see here. Let's actually reduce the saturation of that. Start drawing in several figures. So I kind of want to figure out what is the kind of like look that I want to most of these guys, right? Do I want them to be mostly uniform except for Red Kelly? Do I want them to be like have some variation in height, weight, that sort of thing? Do I want them to be just background characters? So that's what's going through my mind right now. Let's use this. And I think I want some variation, but I want them to still be background characters, except for Red Kelly. So I'm gonna have a big guy, like right there. And he's probably gonna be holding a gun of some kind, so we'll do that. Or he has a gun strapped onto him or something. But something to break up the kind of like flow and the composition, right? Something like that, maybe. I'm not sure how many people I want though, so that's another question that I'm thinking of. And the other question is, do I want them kneeling? Do I want them standing? I think I want them all standing, with Red Kelly in the middle. Red Kelly, we need to have their silhouette stand out, so I'm actually gonna change this. I'm gonna have it kind of like that. Like, they're either holding the gun, like that, right? They're holding the gun like that. Either that, or they have something sticking out the back of them like that. So it's one of the two, but we don't know that yet. We just want to have a good silhouette. So I'm gonna draw the cowboy hat there. And for this one, I might actually, for this particular illustration, right, and only this one, I might actually work at a higher resolution, then scale it down so that I can use the filters. Depends. I might actually also use a pencil brush for this. So let's actually switch to that. Okay, so I'm using a pencil brush. Now I need to switch over to a regular basic round brush. Let me try to find it. Yep, there you go. Okay, so at this point I'm like just pixelating around, trying to figure out exactly what I want to stand out. I'm gonna... Let me see if I can find one with transparency on this. Nope, I can't, so I'll just edit it in myself. Transfer, opacity, jitter, set to pen pressure. There you go. Yeah, let's try it like that. I just want to see like whether I can make them stand out just from the silhouette alone. Like without any details whatsoever, they should be able to stand out, right? I think what I want to do, the way I want to do that is by using their braids. Kind of like that. This is quite hard to do, in my opinion at least. Like trying to just get a silhouette to read so well that like everything kind of like just comes from that. But I'm trying to do them more and more, like trying to have the composition speak for itself instead of adding details to it. I find it supremely hard to do though, especially in my kind of style. I think this works though. So I think let's see if we can add a bit more detail to the surrounding characters without losing any detail from Red Kelly. I want a bruiser kind of character here. Kind of have some armor on him. Something like that. Like I said, he is holding some kind of weapon. Something like that, right? Yo! Hello HP. Long time no talk. How you doing? What's up? Work. What are you working as nowadays actually? As you can see, I've switched professions. For those of you who are not aware, HP was an old school buddy of mine. We have since graduated. Let's see. I'm wondering if I should even like have Red Kelly's face be completely visible. I'm not completely certain. Research engineer still doing VR/XR stuff. Yeah, I haven't brought out my Oculus in a while. I should, but I haven't in a while because I had some. I don't know if you're aware, but like I had some lung issues. And it caused me to be very dizzy, and so I couldn't really use VR all that much. But now it's actually a lot better, so I might get back to using it. I think like having them kind of like, okay, there's this arcing pattern here, right? Like that. I think that's kind of good to like have them kind of have their hands on the holster or something. Or even if it's not really completely visible, I think it's just a nice little like arc. So with the filter on, it looks like shit. So this is where levels comes in. So I was doing this without levels adjustment. So I probably need to inbuild one into this, something like that, I think. Yeah, like that. That's what we want. Maybe not so much. Let's go a bit less. Like that. I think that's about where we want it. So for thumbnail, I think this works pretty well. But I think we need a bit more detail from the rest of the guys in the back. And we'll do like maybe one with like some hair here. And for the actual armor itself, for the soldier armor and stuff like that, I think for that we'll use some reference, but we'll also use some photo bashing. Once people stop regularly using it, they tend not to use it for a long while. I actually was I was using it for a bit to kind of like just do. I only play one game on it pretty much. I play like Thrill of the Fight, which is really fun. But I actually found that it's like really nice to play. Back when I used it regularly, I like to play the fishing game on it. I can't remember what it's called, but it was like a fishing game where you could like bring up YouTube and you could like watch YouTube as you fish. I thought that was really cool. Try something like that. I think for this one I might have to actually increase the resolution, just in general. I'm not even saying like increase the resolution then bring it back down. I'm saying like I think I'll just increase the resolution of this and the lines, because I think I can't fit enough detail into this if I have the filter on. I got the Quest 3 recently. I can hear Guitar Hero pass through with my piano. Holy shit! Did you ever? Were you around at the time where? Okay, I don't know how many of you guys know this. The people who are watching. Like I said earlier, I used to be a video game developer. I don't know if any of you knew that like I have punched through my monitor while making a boxing VR game. That was when I stopped making VR games at home, by the way. That's yeah, not great. Classic Charleston. Yes, classic. Let's see here. Okay, I think that's actually pretty good. I mean, it's not excellent, but that's what it needs to do. Here's what I'm wondering, right? Like, will a bit of texture help it or hinder it? I'm gonna put it on an overlay layer. I'm gonna try, I'm gonna try this. Like that. Right? And then I'm gonna down it. And then I'm gonna set the saturation to nothing. And I kinda want them to meld into the ground there. I'm not sure that will work. I think that will work if I separate it out. What I mean by that is like that. Like having some kind of mist there. So like you can't see the bodies completely. But I think something like that will work. I've punched my monitor on 2 occasions in VR, don't worry. Yeah. Especially when you're playing stuff like Gorilla Tag. Which, I was playing Gorilla Tag and like, people were telling me there's a rite of passage to break your fist while playing Gorilla Tag. And I'm like, really? Really? Is this what we've come to? Okay, let's see. I kind of like that gesture. I don't know if it's appropriate, because I don't know if that's the kind of like image that Red Kelly wants. Actually, no, I think it can work. I think we can put like a revolver there. Yeah, like that, right? I do think, now that I'm actually like doing all this like properly, right? I do think we need to increase the resolution a little bit for all the images. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna save a backup copy though. Backup. Okay. Change the resolution to, let's do it to about twice. Okay. Then we have to change the a bit of things. Change the, firstly we have to change the dithering pattern, which initially was, actually, can we just use this? Not sure. Wait, let me see the difference before and after. Okay, so this is the before, this is the after. No, I don't think that will work. I think if I do that, I have to change the enlargement mechanic to bicubic or nearest neighbor. Nearest neighbor is probably safer. I'm gonna do nearest neighbor and then I'm gonna do it to twice the resolution. There we go, that's what I need. Okay, I think that's good. Actually no, some of them are misaligned. So if I bring up the dither and I set it to normal, and I show you guys that. Oh god, my eyes! Okay, firstly my eyes. But secondly, you can see that some of them are misaligned. So we need to actually put in a new dithering pattern if we want to do it this way. So I believe I have one somewhere. Let me try, actually let's try a CRT pattern. Simply add guns. Yes, this is true. Okay, we'll try this. No, this doesn't work. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys how to make a Photoshop pattern really fast now. I'm gonna create a new Photoshop document. It's gonna be 2 pixels by 1 pixel. And it's gonna look like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set one to be completely black. So I'm gonna press F5, go to transfer, turn that off, and that's gonna be black and white, right? So I'm gonna select the whole thing, go to define pattern. I'm gonna select this pattern as CRT. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just make a new layer and have a pattern overlay on top. And then we're gonna try using that pattern overlay and see whether that works. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. Got it. That is the overlay. And then set it to a lower number. About 5% is I think where it was. That looks pretty good to me. Actually, since we're at it, right? Since we're at it, we're making this like custom texture, right? We might as well try to futz with it a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna create. So what you can do from there is you can create, let's say 80 by 40 pixels, something like this, right? You can then go to the layer properties. So I'm gonna create another layer here. I'll fill it in. You can set the pattern overlay to what you had before, which is just that. You can see it here. I'm realizing it's not exactly 1-to-1. There we go. So we have it 1-to-1 now, right? What you can then do, I should have probably made this a bit larger, but you can actually like smudge it around a little bit, which is going to give it a different kind of like look to things. I'm gonna smudge it around a little bit. I think I'm gonna use a mixer brush for this. I'm gonna try to do it. There we go. I'm gonna smudge it here and there. That should add some texture to it, and I don't know if this is gonna work. I just want to try it. Define pattern, CRT test. Let's go with that. So if I go to here now, and I set the pattern overlay, and I set it to CRT test, if you look at this and I set it to normal and I set it to full, you can see that there's some like adjustments there. I know it's blinding everyone right now, so I'm gonna set it to overlay and set it back around. I'm wondering how much of this I want. I think 8% seems about right. So I'm gonna set that, and then I'm also gonna set the scale to 200%, which is gonna change it up to look a little bit more CRT-ish. So I'm gonna blind everyone's eyes again. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna blind everyone's eyes again. If you look at that, oh my god, my eyes. I can't stare at that too long. I'm gonna zoom in very far in so that everybody can see it. You can see that there's some red in some sections here. I'm actually gonna duplicate this layer so everybody can see it. So you can see that there's some smudging here, right? But there's also these like white, then gray, then black. So there's like some filtering that does occur when you have actual CRT monitors and stuff, and you have those like pattern overlays. One thing you could do on top of all of this, which is not necessary at all, but I'm just gonna show it, is you can fill in another layer on top here. And if you really want an actual CRT over a like display look, you can set a pattern to have this kind of thing, which this is an actual like photo of a CRT pattern. So I got it, I believe, from, I can't remember where I got this, or I made it myself, but you can set the scale to about 20% or even less, let's say like 10%. Okay? So you can set it to 10%, you can set the opacity to a lower number, set it to overlay. And there you go, there's like a much more quote-unquote realistic CRT pattern. You can also like change the scale of it a little bit. So let's say I had it at 15% or had it at 20%. You can just adjust it to whatever scale you want. And this is a bit of a tutorial, but it's fine. We'll put it at, let's say 13%. Plus there's some offsets here and there. So you can merge these two together, merge layers. I'm gonna put this down here. And then I'm gonna down the opacity of it. Why isn't that doing anything? Oh, because of that. There you go. There you go. So you can see what it's doing. It's actually taking some of the colors and moving them slightly, right? So I'm actually going to do that. And that's if you want a really grungy kind of CRT pattern. I'm not sure if we want that, but this is a good option to have, so I'm just gonna leave this here. I'm actually going to reduce the grunge a little bit though. Let me redo that. I'm actually going to reduce the grunge by about that much. Merge layers, a bit over here, down the opacity. There we go. So this is about where I want it. I could capture the resters of all my TV sometime. Yeah, that's a good way of going about it. I think the way I actually got this effect, I believe, is actually from some shader work that I used to do for like simulating CRT effects. So that's how I knew about how to do all this stuff. It's actually from programming shaders that simulate TVs. More guns! 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 I recently watched RoboCop, by the way. It's great. So good. I was missing out. Guns! 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 I'd buy that for $1. Oh, my favorite quote from RoboCop is bitches leave. Is the most like unnatural line that you can think of, but the actor pulls it off flawlessly. Like, he just says it, I believe, okay, this was what was told to me, so I don't know if it's true, but apparently the actor told the director, like, this is not a line that a human person would say. And the director was like, are you the director? No? Well, say the line. And I guess he said, bitches leave. Watch RoboCop if you haven't watched RoboCop. It's a good movie. It's way better than I thought it would be actually. I actually like this a lot. Actually, how does our like Red Kelly drawing stack up to this? Like, because we haven't tried that yet, right? So let's... Okay, we need to get rid of the levels adjustment. Let me get rid of that by putting it in here. Oh shit! It actually looks better, I think. Let me compare it. So the earlier effect was... Oh god, my eyes. I think it's this. Yeah, it's this one. I just need to set the into like 5%. So the original was this, which looked okay, but this is the new one, and that looks a lot better to me. Have you tried the Toxic Avenger? I have. Trauma Films and Toxie. I watched that when I was very young. Probably a bit too young, but you know, that's how it goes. Yeah, the new one I think looks better and a little bit more realistic, which is cool. There's a bit more grunge to it as well, which I do enjoy. Actually, yeah, I kind of like how this looks. I will be augmenting it a lot with like some photo bashing and stuff, or just painting it. I'm still not entirely sure about that. But I think this, I don't know if you can see this, but there's these kind of like spiky patterns that emerge when you're using this kind of method. And oh, this is a perfect time to plug a talk that I'll be doing coming up soon. So if any of you live in Singapore, which I don't think most of you do, but if there's anybody watching the VOD and you live in Singapore, I am going to be giving a talk. The National Library Board of Singapore asked me to do a talk at the National Library. And it's going to be a talk on photo bashing, which I'm doing not right now. I'm not doing it right now. But it's going to be a talk on photo bashing for zines. So the place that you can sign up for this, I'm actually going to drop it in the chat. The link to the event. But I'll also post it in the description. It is... I can't post links in my own chat apparently. Can I? You see that? I don't know if you can see that. I think you have to like set the chat to... Okay, cool. Fantastic. Because I couldn't see it at first. I think it's because I had my chat set to up instead of live chat. But yeah, I'm gonna be giving a talk on making weird art for your RPG zines, or any zine really. It's just gonna be a general talk. This is not in the information in the actual notes on the page, but because I can't promise this, but what I'm intending on doing, and I have asked permission for this, is I am going to be giving everybody who attends at the talk, as depending on how much I have, but I'm gonna be giving everybody basically a copy of the Karen RPG. If you don't know what Karen is, it's a very simple and fast RPG based on Into the Odd by Yohai Gal. I have asked permission for printing out like 50 copies of it and distributing it. He has very kindly allowed me to do it. So I am going to be giving out a shit ton of RPGs for free. I don't know if that's confirmed yet. I'll have to see whether I have the time and the resources to do that, but I'm planning on doing that. That's what I'm planning on doing. Record the talk for your channel. Actually I did talk to the... Actually I didn't even bring it up. I think the National Library Board said that they'll look into whether I can put it on my channel. I didn't even like suggest it, but they were like, it might be good if we can get it onto your channel. So they're gonna look into that. So that might happen. Okay, this is looking like way too much detail for a thumbnail. I've probably gone overboard again, but that's fine. It's fine. I kinda like how these faces look actually. I like how all of these people look. They look like horrible mutant people, which is great, I think. Okay. This one looks like a mask, like they're wearing a laughing mask. It's interesting. Okay. I'm gonna switch to regular brush here. Kind of like that. Oh yeah, also one more thing. If I can, I'm also going to try to... I don't know if I can do this, but I'll try to make a one-page dungeon to go along with everybody's free RPG. When I do the talk. We will see if that comes to pass. Because I am incredibly busy lately, and there's a lot of things that I want to do, but there's some projects that people have asked me to take a look at, and I don't know if I can get to all of them. But I'm trying to do as much as I can without burning myself out. That's the goal, at least. So I want to be able to make some kind of one-page RPG. But yeah, we'll see. I don't want to set anything in stone that I can't do. The things that are confirmed that are coming up that I'm gonna be finishing, like confirm I'm gonna be finishing by hook or crook, is my art commissions first and foremost. I've finished all of them. The next thing I have to finish up, and the art commissions I have are like I have a lot to do. But in addition to that, I also want to do like the Meatheads gem. So for those of you who don't know what a Meatheads gem is, my friend Lark made this system called Meatheads, and it's like an all fighters OD&D style system. I was making something for it on a previous stream, but now that the gem has officially started, I'm gonna resume work on it in January. But by January, I'm gonna finish all my commissions. The plan is, when January starts, I'm not gonna accept any new commissions and just finish up all the stuff that I have going. And also, I want to spend January to finish up my own personal projects. So that's the plan. Any art with a big dude carrying a machete is a winner. Yeah! This is true. Look at that! I should probably make it like, maybe like reflecting some of the light, maybe? Maybe not. Actually, I kind of like that it looks like that. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna like have it reflect the light off the... like off the side here. Yeah, look at that! That's good. Yeah, I think here's what we're gonna do. I think we want to build a more dynamic pose, so we're gonna try to add more shadow there. Like they're kind of like, yeah, doing that. They're doing a JoJo pose, is what they're doing. Let's do that. Okay, cool. Like they're not, you can imagine them doing a JoJo pose. I'm not gonna actually draw the JoJo pose. You can imagine it in your mind's eye. Yeah, there we go. I want to kind of like make the rest of the bodies kind of fade out. But I wanted Red Kelly in particular to have a strong silhouette, so like that's a bit too broad, I think, in terms of the shoulders. I'm gonna dial it back down a bit. There we go. I think that's good. I think that looks good. This is a good thumbnail, I think. I think I actually went too far with it for a thumbnail, actually. I don't even know if this is gonna be like how it looks yet. And we might change the entire thing, so I think I went a bit too far. But I think it looks pretty good. We might put like their banner or something up here. We'll figure that out later on. I'm gonna force myself to stop working on this piece, even though I want to keep working on it, because I kind of want to make sure that it's the direction that we want to head in, you know, before I add any more changes to it. Let's save it. So this, okay, so let's see what we've made so far. So we've made, oh man, I really like how this one turned out. We've made this, we got this. We also tried making these, but I think we're going with this, and we have to do one more thumbnail, which is going to be the casino incident, which is somebody getting shot in the head in the casino. I don't know how I'm gonna approach this one actually. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll do another one first. Oh, actually, wait. There is one that we have to kind of do. The wanted poster for Red Kelly. I did do a mock-up of it. Let me show you guys. But I am not happy with it. I mean, I think it's okay. I just don't. It's the thumbnail for this video actually. But it's is this? I made this, and it's okay. I think it's fine. I think the background is good. I don't think it delivers the kind of mood that I want it to. I mean, like, compare, okay, this, I think it looks kind of nice. A lot of it is me painting it up actually. Some photos here and there, like the background. But compare that to this, for example. I think they have quite a different vibe to them. Or like this versus this, right? I think at the end of the day, I still have to kind of like paint out what I want the wanted poster to look like. But also, I kind of have to wait for the layout work for that, because I don't know how it's going to be laid out on the page, and I think that's going to be important for that. So let's see if there's anything else that I can do. If not, we can actually end it off for today. The casino incident is something that I wanted to do actually, but I have no idea how to approach it. What if you put a halftone over it? It already has a halftone over it. It already has one. It's just a, you know, I think it doesn't have the same vibe, and that's largely because I tried to make it look as realistic as I could, which can work, but I think you have to have a good base before you do that. No worries, no worries. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, let's see. The casino incident will be fun to do, but I'm not sure how I'll do it. I think let's just try it. Let's just try it. So I'm just gonna do a sketch. Let's get rid of the color ramping. Yeah, this group here. So let's get rid of that. Let me just do a black and white sketch, right? So I think like somebody with like just got shot in the head, right? There should be people like staring at people like staring, like, and it should like kind of like they're sitting around like a poker table of some sort. Okay, this is an actual thumbnail. So this is like what I would expect a thumbnail to actually be like. So something like that, I think. Where it's like you just got shot in the head, essentially. And like there's a guy with a gun, like that, alright? How about, I think it's far more interesting if he wasn't shot in the head yet, and he's about to be shot in the head, and he looks scared as shit. I think that's far better. Okay, yeah, I think I can do this. I think like, okay, this might be a bit morbid, but this might be a bit morbid. I'm gonna try it though. Do I want to go that morbid? I don't think so. I was thinking of like having the gun in the mouth, but I think that's too much. I'm gonna have him like... Let's try a few different things. Like he's being threatened, right? Like that. And he's like kinda like staring at the gun, I think. Like staring in fear, like that. I don't know why, but I think of like a gaunt, bald guy being threatened. Or either a gaunt, bald guy or someone clean shaven, but still gaunt. Like something like a regular salary man maybe looking character. Actually, let me see if there's any more details about this. Casino incident. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is good. I think it's okay. Oh, he's okay. I got it. I figured it out. He's reaching for the chips. He's like got some hands, like he's got some like cards on the table, and he's reaching for his money when there's a gun pointed at his face. I think this kind of like I think this brings that message across quite clearly. Like this general composition. I'm trying not to get too carried away and like doing everything before we figure out like whether this is even gonna make the cut. But I kind of like the idea of like this kind of story where he's reaching for the money and there's a gun pointed in his face. I like how much narrative that conveys. Yeah, I think so too, and this is fairly visible even from a distance. You see how much I'm zooming out? I'm trying to see whether it's like still visible and understandable from a distance, and I think it is. So let's try to expand on it a bit. I think we can... Yeah, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a guy smoking maybe. Like that. Like... I'm gonna put like the nose here, the cheek here, the eyes around here. There you go. I think that's good as a thumbnail. We don't have to go overboard. Okay, the problem with this is that it's way too lit up, obviously. So we're gonna adjust the levels, and we're gonna make the light parts a bit darker. Around... Actually, I want even darker for this one. I want really dark. I want it almost red. The reason for this is... You'll see what I'm trying to go for soon. I'm gonna create a gradient on top and do it like that. Do you see that? Obviously this is not how it's gonna look like, but I'm gonna put it into overlay. And see that? That immediately like creates kind of like pattern for your eye to look at. And then I can use a mask. And then I can erase out certain portions that I don't want the light to hit. Have the other hand clamping down on his wrist. Oh, I like that. That's a good idea. Let's do that. Let's do that. So we're gonna have the other hand. Yeah, so we're gonna do like that. On there. It's pretty lit. Yes, it is pretty lit. I see what you did there. It is pretty lit. Let's see. I think that's good. I think that's good to go. I think we just have to do like a bit of an outline around here. I want to make sure that this is visible even before I put in any details. So I think that's good to go actually. Ideally, here's what I think it should be ideally, right? I think that ideally you want it so that if you zoom out the thumbnail a lot, it will look pretty much the same as the final image. That's what I try to go for, at least. Like if you zoom it out like this much, it's gonna look the same as the final image. So that's a general idea. I think it works for that. Let's see the other images, whether that works out. Let's put this in a folder. Okay, so this one I think works. I think this one is like pretty similar to what it's gonna be like. Let's see this one. Yeah, this one definitely. And this one too. There is a bit of finagling that I would like to do for this one, which is... Oops. Which is right around here. I know it's a thumbnail, but I still wanna fix up some issues here and there. Don't go too crazy with it, but basically that's what we want. I think we're good to go for this session. How long have we been going for? 1 hour and 20 minutes. Oh shit. That's pretty long. Okay, so today we did a bunch. We made some thumbnails here, here, and here. I think this is the one we're going to use for cowgirl.mov. I have to still put a frame around it and I have to still do all the detail work, but that's the thumbnail. This is the thumbnail for the Frontier Wolves. This one, actually, I might not change it that much. It depends. I might just add a texture or some overlay element on it, but... And this one is for the casino incident. One thing though... no, actually I think it's good enough. I was gonna actually blend some areas in. Actually, I'm gonna try it. There's no harm. Let's do that. Okay. Just blend in some stuff here. Oops. Okay. There you go. Hey, there you go. I think that's good. I think we're good to go. And I think we're done for today. Thank you all for coming by. Let's go through the names. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Riz. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, HP. Thank you, Partner Bren. I think that's everybody. Thank you all for coming by. I appreciate it every single time. Look forward to... Probably I'm gonna do another hex crawl video. Well, stream another hex crawl recording. I think in either... I'm not sure how many days from now, but I'm gonna do it this week. And then I also want to do some... Actually, I want to do some more art commissions this week. I want to get a lot of it done. So I think look forward to that. Goodbye everybody. See you around next time. Time to stop the stream.